Welcome to the Wired for Success podcast, your show for ambitious, mission-driven entrepreneurs who want to build million-dollar businesses without sacrificing their health, relationships, or happiness, who understand that in order to build their empire, they need a solid foundation, and that the more they are thriving, the more their business is thriving too. This show brings you the very best from science, self-development, and entrepreneurship to set you up for sustainable success. Hi, I'm Claudia Garbutt, the scientist turned mindset and high-performance coach for entrepreneurs, and I help you get wired for success. Hey everyone, and welcome back. This episode is brought to you by L-Nutra, nutrition technology for longevity. Are you looking for a smarter, science-backed way to support muscle health and longevity? Meet L-Protein from L-Nutra, the only plant-based protein powder of its kind, uniquely designed to enhance muscle growth and slow down the aging process. Unlike typical whey proteins, which activate pro-aging pathways, L-Protein supports your body with 25 grams of complete plant-based protein designed to keep IGF-1 low for optimal aging. With L-Nutra's pioneering approach to nutrition technology, this isn't just protein. It's nutrition for longevity, perfect for post-workout recovery, a nutrient-packed breakfast, or an afternoon snack. Personally, I love the chocolate-flavored protein shake as a delicious and super quick post-workout breakfast. As someone who would like to gain some muscle mass, it's important to me to get enough high-quality protein, and this is a great option. So if you're serious about fueling your body for both performance and long-term health, L-Protein might be just what you were looking for. Plus, it's packed with essential vitamins and minerals, all sourced from real fruits, veggies, and mushrooms, ensuring you're nourished in the most natural way possible. Can't go wrong with that, right? So if you'd like to check it out, go to prolonlife.com/wired. That's prolonlife.com/wired to get your L-Protein today. I'll also link it in the show notes. Without further ado, let's dive into today's episode. Hey everyone, and welcome back to a brand new episode of the Wired for Success podcast, where we talk about all things science, self-development, and entrepreneurship that help you get to that next level of success in your life and business. And my guest today, with a very difficult name, is Vitalijus Majorovas, and I apologize if I mispronounce that. And he's the co-founder at Pulsetto, a company producing a wearable vagus nerve stimulation device. And despite past startup setbacks, Pulsetto is now scaling rapidly, hitting 1 million monthly revenue. And I can't wait to hear more about the science as well as about the entrepreneurial success story. So welcome, and thank you so much for being on my show today.
Yeah, thanks, Claudia. Very nice introduction and very correct pronunciation of my name. Yeah, and we hit not 1 but 1.6 million in November. So
wow,
it was all-time record for us. So yeah, good.
Oh, congratulations! That's huge. Yeah. Now I'm curious, how did it all start? Can you please explain what the Pulsetto device is and share the origin story of how it all started?
So this is the device. It's a wearable device which you're putting on the neck, switching on the button. And then it's controlled by the app. It's creating electric signal. We encoded at this moment 8 different signals, but it's creating electric signal, goes under the muscle to the nerve level and activates very fast this vagus nerve, which is very active on the neck area. And when you're activating the vagus nerve, basically you are switching on the parasympathetic nervous system. In other words, rest and digest. So everything what is related with digestion and relaxation, So it's very good tool for stress control, for anxiety control. We see that a lot of our customers are using before sleep or during the night when they're waking up, because stress is the main factor why people have issues with sleep. So basically, this is the device, very fast and very comfortable way how to activate the vagus nerve. You can do it by breathing, by cold showers. Just this is much easier, much faster way, more comfortable. You see, I can speak at the same time. I can do this some kind of activation. Of course, you need to apply a little bit amount of gel, but this is how it works.
Awesome. And why did you decide to build this?
I mean, there are some personal struggles, personal stories from myself and my co-founder. We are two co-founders, me and Povilas. We are originally from Lithuania, from Baltic countries. For example, personally, me, I have wife, and she has cluster head pains. It's a quite tough and very rare condition. It's, let's say, it's like a 10x migraine. It's 10 times stronger than migraine. It appears quite rare, usually during the night. It can be like a once or twice per year, but those pains, it's much stronger than migraine. Other name of this pain is suicidal pain, because when people are feeling this kind of cluster head pain, it's feeling like somebody's with a knife cutting the head, etc. So when when I'm seeing that my wife, the most loved person, just waking up in the middle of the night and just rocking in the bed because she's saying, don't touch me, and etc. Of course, I want to help. I wanted to help, and we try a lot of things, oxygen therapy, a lot of drugs, and etc. And then 5 years ago, I read several studies about vagus nerve stimulation and possible treatment of cluster head pain. And so this is how I dig deeper in this topic. And one of the first questions was, who is the best in Baltics in this field? And this is how I met Povilas, my other co-founder, because at that moment he worked with invasive vagus nerve stimulators. There are a lot of people who are wearing surgery implantable vagus nerve stimulation, because this is very good treatment for epilepsy. So we met and we decided that let's do it something, because it was not so many solutions like a non-invasive stimulation, like wearable stimulation. And this is how we started. We started 3 years ago, approximately 2021 October. It was like let's do it, and then in 9 months we built the product, and then we started to sell the product. So vagus nerve is quite universal. That's why I'm mentioning stress, I'm mentioning migraine, I'm mentioning epilepsy. There are also a lot of proof about gut-brain axis and vagus nerve stimulation. There are a lot of proof about inflammation management, especially if you have like a joint pain inflammation, like arthritis and etc. Because vagus nerve is not like a one fiber, not like a one cable. It's like 160,000 different fibers, like a network. And by activating different fibers, you can reach different benefits. So one fibers, for example, are responsible for this rest and digest. Other fibers are responsible for let's say acetylcholine releasement, and this acetylcholine increases the nitric oxide, and that's why it's good for the migraine, and that's also good for the cluster head pain. So this was my personal motivation, just to have some kind of weapon, positive weapon in my house when those pains will appear one more time, because it's basically untreatable disease, this cluster head pain, and there are no real treatment. But there are, for example, already devices in the market, vagus nerve stimulator devices, who have FDA approval to treat cluster head pain. So this is where we're going also. We want to get a medical device for this specific reason also.
Thank you so much for sharing. So the Pulsetto story really is a love story.
It's a love story. At the same time, my co-founder also had some struggles with the health. I mean, majority of us, we have some issues with health, or we have friends or relatives who had issues with health. And some of businesses are rising like this because the people really struggle, with the relative, let's say, health, or friends, or somebody died, they wanted to help, but they couldn't, and then they are trying to find the solution. And there are a lot of, let's say, health tech startups who are like, was created like that, based on this motivation, and etc. So we are really a very personal related startup.
Yeah, I think those are the best motivations for starting a business, when it's not just about the money, it's about really helping people you love.
Yeah, because, in the journey of startups, it will be ups and downs. And if you have only money motivation, after first or couple of downs, you will give up. But if you have bigger motivation, bigger ambition, and meaningful ambition, then doesn't matter how much dips you will have. It's always the motivation will lead you to stand up, and go further. Stand up and go further, and it's normal. And in the startup world, it will be like a 100 dips. Or it's like this.
Yeah, and I mean, I've been testing the device for about a week now, and I really like it. And I especially love the layered approach where you combine the electrostimulation with music and intentional breathing patterns. In fact, I was even wondering if one could add one more layer to the whole mix. So, for instance, humming on those long exhales when you do the breathing, because that also stimulates the vagus nerve, right?
Yeah. There are other ways how to stimulate the nerve, like humming, singing, jaw massage, cold shower, specifically on the face, breathing exercise. Because I mean, everything what we are just describing is related with neck.
Mm-hmm.
The humming, it's also related with the neck, with the fibers, and like I said, there are 160,000 fibers, and around 60% of them are in neck region. That's why we chose this kind of area. Not because this is very funny to look, but it's because it's the best place to activate the nerve. So you can do it manually at home without any technology. But just for example, in case of breathing or humming, approximately you need to do it like a 20-25 minutes of humming in order to activate some fibers. You don't know which kind of fibers you will activate, but you will. So it takes a lot of time. It takes practice. You need like a dedicated environment. Yeah, you cannot do humming, I don't know, in airport, for example. Yeah,
No,
or
you
something
can't.
like that. And then you are not precise, yeah, because you can activate specific fibers which are not for the specific reason. For example, you want to relax, but you activate, I don't know, acetylcholine fibers. Electricity always can target, more precise and more faster. This is always with electricity.
Mm-hmm. And can you explain how the device helps to increase heart rate variability and why that's important?
I mean, heart rate variability. It's a quite important metric in longevity field right now. There are a lot of studies that showing that the higher the heart rate variability, better for you, because you're constantly switching between this sympathetic, this fight and flight mode, and parasympathetic. And it's normal to have stress, normal to have this fight and flight mode, this adrenaline driven, mode, and etc. What is not normal, that you are like a 50 times per day in this fight and flight mode. Yeah, because previously, I don't know, lion created the fight and fight mode, but then our ancestors, they run away from the lion, and then they spend majority of time in parasympathetic in this rest and digest mode. Now every bad Slack message, every I don't know, bad colleague, every some kind of social media negative post, every I don't know, when you're driving, there are a lot of mini situations, and that's why you're constantly in this fight and flight, and then it's becoming big problem, big probability of become chronic stress. Yeah, to always to not able to switch back to the parasympathetic nervous system. So the higher the HRV, the better your stress resilience. So it means that you can switch faster to the parasympathetic nervous system from the sympathetic fight and flight. So the stress resilience is like a stress muscle. Yeah, you can imagine that if you have strong stress muscle, it means that you can react and recover much faster from those, let's say, stressful events and etc. So HRV, the bigger the HRV, the stronger the stress muscle. What it means, it means that you can measure stress resilience, which is very, very new thing, and now a lot of science people are working. It's good, because what you can measure, you can improve. Yeah, and second, you can improve. Yeah,
Yep.
like you can improve the muscle by, I don't know, doing some dumbbell exercises. The same, you can improve HRV by doing some parasympathetic nervous system activation exercises, like breathing, like wearing the devices, like cold showers, and etc. So basically, the higher the HRV, the better it is. And by using the Pulsetto constantly, we see that HRV trend is increasing. How much? It depends on your benchmark, because some people have very low benchmark. For example, average is like a 50 in the world around. So for example, if you have 20, which is quite low, it means that you can make improvement very fast, yeah, by 10-20%. But if you have, for example, 100, which is elite level, and there are not so many people who have 100, it's already harder to to improve, because HRV is not only about vagus nerve stimulation, it's also about alcohol consumption. Yeah, so if you will wear Pulsetto, but if you will drink alcohol every day, Pulsetto is not a magic stick, HRV is also very dependable on the sleep quality. Yeah. So it's also can be influenced by water consumption, by omega-3. So there are some let's say specific things which is also influencing HRV. But vagus nerve stimulation and all this parasympathetic nervous system activation is one of the ways how to strengthen, how to build the stress muscle, the stress resilience tone, let's say, of this HRV level higher.
And how long would people have to use the device before they see a meaningful increase in HRV?
So usually it takes like a twice per day, 5 to 10 minutes session. So it means 10 to 20 minutes per day. Usually, typical our customer is using it morning and before sleep. And at least you need to wear it for 10 to 14 days to see some kind of trends, but constantly to do it like a twice per day minimum. But like I said, we don't need to. We are not asking to wear this device like hours. It's like 5-10 minutes per session, and you can multitask. It means that you can wear, and at the same time, you can do the job, you can watch TV, you can cook, whatever you want to do, So 10-14 days to see some trend improvement. Also very important to see your benchmark. So what your starting point, what is your typical average HRV. At this moment, we implemented already the API. Still, there are some bugs. And we are testing, but we are improving this. So if you have any wearable device like Aura, Whoop, Garmin, Apple Watch, those most popular wearable device, if you allow us to share the data, you can see already on our app your data before and after the stimulation.
Yeah, that's cool.
Yeah, so this is where we want to go further, because we want to collect a lot of data. Now, at this moment, we have already 1 million sessions, and we know how the people, when they doing the stimulation, how they feel after the stimulation. Now we are adding this HRV and heart rate data. So it will be a lot of data, but with this data, we want to create a protocols. Like, for example, you are, Claudia, using the Pulsetto for 1 week, and we are saying, look, your heart rate and heart rate variability trends are like this. If you want to improve it, this is the protocol specifically designed for you. So you need to do specific number of Pulsetto sessions, plus you need to maybe include some humming, maybe some I don't know, better sleep, better breathing exercises, and etc. So it will be dedicated for you. Of course, this protocol will be created not by human, by AI, because they can absorb this kind of big amount of data. But this is where we are going next year, and the first starting point is start to collect the data from those trackers, from Aura, from Apple, from Garmin, from Polar, and etc. So now we're in the phase of collecting already the data, and now we're building some more advanced things,
That's really cool and exciting. To be honest, I've been struggling to do it twice a day. I can do once, and that's usually in the evening because mornings are just hectic. So would you still recommend doing 2 sessions back to back, or how far should you space out those sessions ideally?
Yeah, you can do it back to back, or you can take it longer. For example, take longer. But back to back is the best approach. Let's say if you are not able to do it twice per day, so it is the best way.
And speaking of session length, so it says 4 minutes is already effective. So what should people consider when choosing the session length, especially if they might consider doing 2 sessions back to back?
Yeah, so those sessions, we at this moment we have 8 different programs. They are different in duration, but also they are different, and maybe people are not feeling this in the signal parameters, because every session has different 4 parameters: the voltage, amplitude, pulse wave, and pulse width. Because, like I said, we want to activate different fibers of the vagus nerve, and by different, let's say, voltage or different pulse wave. But as a user, maybe you will not feel, is it a square pulse wave, or is it a triangle, or whatever. So those different sessions are for the different with different parameters of the electric signal, and basically let's say if you have panic attack, so we are recommending to use anxiety program, but during the panic attack. For example, if you have issues with sleep, let's say we are recommending sleep session to do it before the sleep, or let's say during the night when if you woke up and you cannot go to anymore to the sleep. Most popular is stress program. So for example, if you want to use it like for HRV increasement, so stress program, which is I think it's 4 minutes duration, it's you can double once per day, or let's say to do it stress program in the morning and let's say sleep program in the evening. For people who have some migraine or head pain, we have pain programs. Specifically, it was created for one study. We made study with the bacterial disease patients. Those guys have very strong chronic back pain, also inflammation related, like migraine. So this is long stimulation, it's 20 minute stimulation, and quite deep signal, and etc. And now, for example, we are working with professional sport players in different fields like basketball, football, and etc. So majority of things what they're doing on this pain program. So this is if you have some kind of inflammation related stuff, we are not healing any traumas, any muscle damages and etc. But if you have like arthritis, migraine, and this kind of stuff, the pain program is dedicated for those kind of activities.
And is there a maximum time per day that
from those implantable devices? Because the first implant was introduced in the market 20 years ago. So this vagus nerve is not like a new revolutionary science. It's already there are data of 20 years patients, let's say. So what they saw that one of the negative things that you can overstimulate the nerve, but you need to do it 12 hours per day.
Oh, okay, that's a long time.
Which is theoretically, it's practically impossible because our device is charging off after 1 hour of stimulation. It's like the battery is dying, and then you need to recharge. We have this USB charger, so practically it's impossible that. But there is theoretical probability that you can overstimulate the nerve, and then it will be damaged, and then it will be consequences of the the same like not good working nerve. Damaged nerve is basically the same like weak vagus nerve tone. And what it means that the signal between the gut and brain will not be good. It will be fake news. So that's why the brain fogs, the leaky gut is appearing, because the vagus nerve is not like providing clear information to the brain, and then brain is giving wrong signal to the gut, and that's why we have this kind of IBS and other gut issues, because the vagus nerve is very weak or it's damaged. For example, long COVID, one of the consequences of long COVID, and there are a lot of studies about this, that they're damaging. This is one of the consequences, and that's why people feel some gut issues. That's why they feel the head pains, and brain fogs and fatigue, and etc. One of the reasons is damaged vagus nerve. So
that's interesting.
Yeah.
And how should people think about choosing the right intensity setting? I imagine there will be some people out there saying no pain, no gain, but is that really the way to go, or how do?
The intensity is like a very personal stuff, and that's why we have those 9 intensity levels which you can control on the app. We are recommending to use default level, but some people feel that this is too strong. Some people are feeling that it's too low. Basically, the principle is that the stronger the intensity, the faster the nerve activates. So, for example, if you can hold level 9, which is very minority people can hold this level 9 because it's very strong, and in a lot of cases we see the lip dip or even muscle contraction, So then you need like a 3 minutes to activate the nerve, but as we are saying, like a 4 or 5 minutes to activate the nerve. So this saving of one additional minute is basically basically nothing. So it's more about personal approach, because, for example, in our company we have very sensitive guys that even level 3 for them are strong, for some of them, like, they're putting level 8 and they feel nothing, I mean, they feel something, but they're saying it's nothing for me. In general, you feel vibration. You can say from your experience, you feel the vibration is like, I don't know, needles, some gentle needles on the skin. Very similar feeling like TENS, if you ever use this muscle stimulators like this in rehabilitation, for example, process. Just TENS devices, they're going to the muscle level, and like I said in the beginning, we are going deeper to the nerve level. So that's why our signal, our voltage, our amplitude and pulse waves are deeper and stronger. But the feeling itself, it's like, I mean, you feel electricity, it's not like an electric shock, but you feel like a gentle vibration, and you can control the intensity of those vibrations, with this intensity levels.
So basically, whatever feels good. So
it's totally personal. For example, for me, it's okay level 5, but like I said, somebody wants to feel stronger, or somebody wants to feel at all basically nothing, and then go to level 1.
Yeah. Now, before we started recording, you already mentioned a little bit of your personal story and a little bit of burnout, maybe. Can you tell us the whole story of how you realized that you were at least close to burnout and how that changed your life?
I was in my life, let's say, in the burnout, because before I went to startup journey, I was doing corporative life, and I was always climbing, on the ladders of corporate. I was working in turnaround management in very tough situation. I was coming to the companies and trying to help them to make changes. So I was working in Turkey and in Hungary and through the Europe. And when I was 29, I remember I started those kind of strange feelings that I lack of oxygen, when I'm speaking. I remember I was walking in the grocery store, and then it's like a feeling that I will pass out, very strange feelings. And then I took all the possible blood tests, because I tried to understand why. What is the reason? I lived in Hungary at that moment, so not in my country, So I took all blood tests. Nothing was found, and then my doctor said, "You have like panic attacks." So they wrote me Xanax. So 29 years old, I started to use Xanax, and remember I called to my mother, and my mother finished medicine in Lithuania, and said, "Don't panic, but I am using Xanax, the lowest dose, 0.25 milligrams." And she said, "For how long you're doing it?" I said, "For 1 week." She said, "Let's cancel now this. Please do it, because it's addictive. You will need one day, you will need 0.5, 0.75, and then, you will see that you need 3 tablets per day, 4 tablets. You cannot go to sleep anymore with Xanax, and etc." And I felt that Xanax is super fast. I remember it was like a meeting. Before the meeting, I'm taking the Xanax, and then after 5 minutes, I'm like a most relaxed person in the world,
Oh, really?
But it's like this. It's like, it's super fast,
Okay.
But very addictive. It's very addictive, and you're becoming like you cannot live with this. So this is my first attempt to deal with the panic attacks, and it's a part of the burnout. But now, for example, and then after 12 years of corporate life, I started my businesses. I failed with 3 businesses, by the way. And Pulsetto is the 4th one. And I have some kind of self-doubt already, because it was 3 failures in a row.
Yeah, sure.
And before 12 years, I was always climbing the ladders. I was like a superstar, and etc. Now 3 failures in a row. So it was a big motivation. Of course, my wife motivation also was very big, and etc. So it was created super big, the like a complex of motivation. And then during those 3 years, you cannot believe. We are one of the fastest growing startups in the world. Wellness devices in the world. Sorry, because we grew this year. For example, we will finish with 9 million revenue. 3rd year, 9 months of those 3 years, we are developing the product, and only 2.5 years we are selling the product. Yeah, we grew 58 times from first year. Of course, the big numbers because the benchmark from where we grow it's a low, but still it's a. I mean, nobody in wellness device area is growing so fast like us. But what it means crazy amount of job. I mean, for example, I am quite productive and I am like a fanatic of productivity. So I'm calculating how much hours I'm working. Last week, I work 72 hours.
Oh, that's not good.
Yeah, you're German guys. You're crazy also on the productivity, I know. And that's why I love you, because I'm also this kind of structure and very workaholic. But 72 hours is quite a lot, and everybody's saying to me, look, if you will continue like this, you will burn out. Yeah. But I'm continuing this 3 years in a row. Yeah. I feel when I am burning out, but that's why I'm working a lot with myself. And I'm sharing this with my colleagues also, because I see that, especially in Q4, when everybody's pressing, then there are Christmas, then there are Q4, November, Black Friday, there are a lot of stress, a lot of panic, a lot of changes, a lot of problems, operational issues. You need to work with yourself, because otherwise you will be burned out very fast, especially if you're working like 70 hours per day or per week, and etc. And Pulsetto is not a magic stick. It's not only one solution on how I didn't burn out, but Pulsetto plays big part why I'm not burning out, But besides Pulsetto, I am very structurally looking to the, basically I'm working with 5 things, on myself. First is the rest. It's not only about sleep. Yes, sleep is very important, but for example, I have concepts of perfect days.
Okay.
So it means that, for example, on the weekends, when I'm resting on those, let's say 1.5 days or whatever, I have like a list of 10 things what makes me happy, and trying in this perfect day, I'm trying to at least to have like 3-4 things from this list. And if you will make exercise on yourself, you will see that some of those happy things are not very I mean, for example, I love massage, or I love good food, or I love spending time with the friends, or I like hiking with my dog, or I love play basketball, So you're trying to include in this, let's say, weekends, the perfect days, and this is very, very different from what you can do just sitting on the sofa, on the video and scrolling, through the telephone and etc. So the rest is very important. It's not only about sleep. This is also about the let's say the happy times, what you're doing and etc. Then physical activity is very important, especially I'm a big believer in high intensive interval training. Super. I mean, I love this, especially sprints, because I love basketball, but it's really creating some kind of, oxygen delivery to my head or whatever. I'm fanatic of high intensive interval training. I think this is a big part of my let's say control that I didn't want to burn out during those 3 years. Then food is very important, especially the green food, smoothies. I mean, there are a lot of things, but for example, I'm always starting the day with water and salt, good quality salt. The minerals are basic, I mean, we can speak a lot, but I just want to say those 5 most important things. Then I work with myself. This is the 4th thing. For example, I have journal, like a Excel sheet basically, and I'm doing Fridays like a flashback, of the week, and then I have like 2 columns, what is decreasing the energy and what is increasing my energy. Energy is very related with the burnout. Usually one of the signs that you have burnout is the lack of energy, is the fatigue. Exactly. So that's why I really want to work with energy as a let's say metric or tool. So for example, when you're doing this Excel sheet and you're doing constantly, you see the patterns. For example, I really don't like this kind of like agreements, writing, etc., blah blah blah. Or for example, even at home, I'm really glad that my wife and my kid, they took off completely from me all those home things. I'm focusing on business. Yeah, so I'm not doing nothing at home because I saw that it's really decreasing my energy. This kind of cleaning stuff, blah blah blah, and etc. So and then I'm focusing on energy creating things. Yeah. For example, I love speaking and I love motivating. I love to do podcasts. I love networking, dealing, etc. And if you're staying more in these energetic areas, you feel more energy, and more energy you feel, less probability of the burnout. So the fourth is working with yourself, and the fifth is the parasympathetic nervous system. It's not only about Pulsetto, it's also about breathing, about sauna, about cold showers. I don't like cold showers. I just don't feel comfortable. That's why I'm choosing Pulsetto. That's why I'm choosing sauna. But this is also a big part of the burnout control. So 5 things. But what I wanted to say, that I have structure and I'm working on this, because otherwise, it's no way to do super fast growing business, work hard, and not to burn out.
I totally agree. I mean, I couldn't agree more. I think it really comes down to just managing your energy, because you can do a ton of things if they light you up, so you don't necessarily burn out. But if you're very busy and the things you do just sap your energy, that's when you're at risk of burning out, just as you said. And also, one thing I wanted to talk about is, at least from my experience, I would say that there's a lot of denial around burnout, because there are often those driven type A people who usually suffer from burnout, who are used to just powering through challenges and who are often unwilling to accept help. Now, from a mindset point of view, how hard was it for you to accept that things weren't working out and you had to make some major changes? And what did those changes look like?
It takes experience and time, because when I was this 10 years ago, the guy who was working like a crazy in these turnaround management areas, and then I started to use Xanax, it was hard for me to admit that
Right.
I'm weak, because burnout was like equal to weak. Yeah.
Exactly.
So, but now after 10 years, you see, you are more skilled professional guy, you understand that it's a long game. It's like to reach, let's say, unicorn level, it's harder than become Olympic champion. It's harder. It's hard. So in order to become Olympic champion, I'm always comparing myself with professional sport. It creates me motivation and inspiration, In order to become Olympic champion, you need to do as much as possible. Even tiny details can make a big difference. Yeah. So it's a long game. Usually it takes like 10 years to build normally working big company, unicorn or whatever level, and etc. So in order to stay on top for 10 years, you need to take care of yourself. It's impossible, but what I see from our customers, because we have 100,000 customers, and majority believe of them, they have chronic issues, and part of the chronic issues is the burnout. And we see 3 categories of burnout people. So business people, but we see more and more people, they're admitting. And we are speaking with our customers, they're business people. I think that something is changing in the world, that people are more and more admitting that it's normal to have burnout. It's not like it's a sign of weak person, and etc. But there are 2 other categories of the burnout. Is the nurses. It's a very niche group, and the women after the birth. They're giving the birth.
God, yes.
It's a big categories, and what we see from our customers, those 2 categories are huge, and maybe not everybody is speaking about those 2 categories also. But business people, when you are young and you are ambitious, it's very hard to admit that you are burning out.
Yeah, it's really important to have those conversations. Now, let's switch gears for a moment and talk about building Pulsetto. How hard was it to get the business off the ground, and what were the main challenges that you encountered?
It was hard. But first, like I said, we made the product in 9 months, and it's not only about, I mean, it's not on, it's app plus it's hardware, which has a lot of physical limitations, and I mean, we managed to fix those limitations, this flexibility, the neck size, and etc. And also the third part, it's a firmware. It's this electric signal in the electric schema, etc. So 3 parts, and to build it in 9 months, it's crazy, because usually innovative hardware is built in 3 years. And we made it. We got investment, luckily, in the beginning of the story. But anyway, we built this like a 3 times cheaper, comparing with like a 3 years normal hardware development. So our execution was super good, and very lean. It was basically driven by our motivation, but also from our experience, because my experience in this corporate world helped me a lot, because I knew how to manage, how to make, let's say, project management, how to deal with the people, how to deal with the teams, how to motivate people, etc. So I'm really proud that we made it in 9 months. Sometimes, for example, now we are launching new, and we are now 30 people company, and we are launching new like a feature. Sometimes new feature for us takes more than 9 months. So we build the product, faster. So now, as we are becoming like a little bit more corporative, slower, and etc., it's becoming, and we are always reminding people that, look, guys, we made the founder in 9 months. This, it was a lot of limitations, a lot of restrictions, and etc. So this was the big part. But then even the harder part was to start to sell, because we started in 2022 June, 9 months after our company was created, and first 2 months was like we sold first devices quite fast in first days, but then we couldn't scale, and I remember the first 2 months was like at one point I thought, okay, this is the fourth failure, fourth failure in a row, but then I remember we test like a crazy. We changed 10 times pricing.
Okay.
We changed a lot of marketing angles, funnels. I mean, it was crazy amount of test. And then one day we decided to go to Indiegogo. It's like a Kickstarter, this crowdfunding, platform. And we made super big and strong campaign on Indiegogo, and this allow us, to start to scale, and etc. So the second big part was to find the niche, to find the, let's say, the right message, the right channel, the right pricing, and basically without these tests, with this approach of let's do it, let's test it, let's innovate, let's iterate. Also, it would be very hard to be where we are right now.
Yeah, it's so important to get all those puzzle pieces right. And now, does most of the revenue now come from selling the device or from people buying a premium subscription?
No, premium subscription it's representing bigger and bigger part, but for sure the majority of revenue is coming from the devices. We are still in the growing mode. We believe that we can sell hundreds of thousands of devices per year, because stress, anxiety, sleep, there are, I mean, it's every third person in the world has some issues, with this kind of conditions. So majority of revenue is coming from device sales, but after that we see quite good retention in the subscription. So subscription share is growing as our user, let's say, database is growing, step by step.
Oh, that's great. I mean, I think that it's probably like the holy grail is always having those subscription, because you have a predictable recurring income, right? So you know exactly what to expect. So can you share the percentage of customers who also opt for the premium subscription?
Yeah, we are giving the premium right now. I think we started to give for 30 days for free.
Oh, really?
And then and then those customers can choose, or they are just not taking the premium or taking. So we have 65% of people who are choosing the premium version.
Nice.
But you want to understand that even if you're not buying premium, you can use the device forever for free. I mean, the basic functions like a stimulation as a basic function of stimulation, you can use the device for free. Premium allows us additional things like include the meditation, breathing exercises. Now, for example, this is what I explained about this tracking of your, if you're wearing some kind of this API of wearable devices, it also will be only so we want to create additional features for the premium, and we will do it for, for the future more and more. But basic, like to have, when you have, panic attack or whatever, stimulation, you can do it without any premium lifetime access, so because you bought the device, you paid the price for the product.
Now, before we wrap up, is there anything else that you would like to share with our listeners today?
I think the most important is to take care of yourself and take care of mental health. I think this is very important. I'm always saying that mental health, it's like an organ. Yeah. If you're taking care of, of your arm, of your heart, of your head health or whatever, you also need to take care of mental health. So the prevention is very important. Work on yourself. Doesn't matter or in those 5 areas, or just you will choose one area or 2, but you need to work on mental health, on avoiding the burnout and etc. Especially if you are busy business, or let's say even if you're working in corporate life, but you're working like crazy and you want to maintain high level of performance, you need to take care of this. It's the same like I said, like professional athletes. Yeah, they're getting a lot of physical pressure. Yeah, and what they're doing recovery. Yeah, the cold showers, the stretching exercises, foam rolling, and etc. We are getting a lot of pressure. Okay, maybe it's not a physical pressure, it's mental pressure, but we also need to have mental recovery, sleep, breathing, parasympathetic nervous system activation. There are tools of mental recovery. So this is my main message, for you.
Amen to that. So where can our listeners find you online if they would like to learn more about you or connect with you?
So our company website is pulsetto.tech. Personally, me, you can find on LinkedIn. I'm quite active. Vitalijus Majorovas, if you can write, or also you can write me email, But basically, you can find on LinkedIn. I think this is the best social media channel where you can communicate with me.
Perfect. Again, thank you so much for sharing all those tips and insights with us today. I really enjoyed talking with you.
Thanks, Claudia.
Take care and talk soon. Bye.
Bye.
Thank you so much for listening to the Wired for Success podcast. I hope you've enjoyed this episode. If you did, please take a sec to rate and review my show or share it with a friend. That way you can support the show and help me reach and support other entrepreneurs like yourself as well. If you would like my help to figure out how you can go from overwhelmed and overworked hustler to empowered and confident leader, check out my website at www.wiredforsuccess.solutions and book a free 20-minute strategy session with me. Can't wait to help you get wired for success. Until next time, take care. Bye.